Hey, it's Tyler. My friend Darren sent me some blog posts from some of the designers of Powered by the Apocalypse, a system I'm not a known fan of, and I thought there was some telling stuff in this blog post. Basically, they talk about how they want you, or how they intended the system to be DM'd, or how they intend you to DM in general. I've got myself shoved over to the side here, and the scaling on the Chrome window kind of weird, so that hopefully I don't get in the way of what you're reading. I started reading this and was like, oh yeah, this actually sounds pretty solid. It's a blorb, of course, because, you know, everything has to have some dumb name now. We can't just... but anyways, this becomes a pet peeve with their writing style, because it then later devolves into like some fucking... Let me put the cart before the horse a little bit. Just say don't fudge dice. This whole section, I agree with it, but just say don't fudge dice. That's what you mean here. Everyone would know what you mean when you said that. And they're not even really explaining why it's bad to do that. They're just doing it, right? So it's a prep focused playstyle, and prep is central but never prep plot. I'm okay with doing preparation. But I agree, don't prep plot, you know, because if you need X, Y, and Z to happen to keep the game moving forward, then what are the players doing? Are they just there to be die rollers? Yeah. So I was like, okay, so far I kind of agree. Prep entities, places, enemies, friends, items, rewards. Portements, trésor. Why French? Not sure. What happens should be emergent, not pre-written. That's a buzzword there, emergent. Events should be things that might happen, not always will happen, or worse, that the DM could choose to have happen. Why? Would it not be... Trying to think of an example. The players are in the middle of a forest. Some bandits show up. Hey, you know, be careful over there, man, because I might unsheath my dagger and I might hit you with it. Of course, you know, if that's cool with you, if your decisions lead to me hitting you with this dagger, if they don't, like if you don't want to, don't let us encroach on your agency. You know, I wouldn't want to. You know, I wouldn't want to. Ultimately, it is the DM's job to control, usually, bad people. I'm not saying the DM's actively antagonistic here, obviously, but you're going to be playing the villain, or the antagonist at the very least. So there needs to be conflict. Conflict can't happen unless something must necessarily happen. An asteroid is falling on the planet. That's not an it might happen. That's it's happening. If you base your campaign on a lot of events that could happen, where's the conflict? You know, are you just preventing a lot of could be's? Yeah, so I don't quite get that. So basically, write a bunch of stuff down, but just sort of populate your world with random crap, and don't have any of these NPCs that are acting upon the world. So far it seems like we've got a bunch of random encounter generators with no real goal in one direction or the other. It seems kind of like a Bethesda game, I'm not going to lie. No paper after seeing rock. Again, just say don't fudge the dice. When you play paper, scissors, stone. Who the hell calls it that? Just rock, paper, scissors. You even call it rock here, so why didn't you say... Anyway, it's obviously cheating to act a little bit slowly and select paper after seeing rock. Both people need to select simultaneously. Yep, that's true. If you secretly write down your selection in advance, you don't have to be as precise with the timing. Your selection is committed long before you saw that rock. Yeah. Even to the point that it's enough for one person to write down their selection as long as they write it down before the... Are you describing what... This is a bad extended metaphor. That's why you need to write... This room has 3d6 skeletons before the player characters go there. You've got to let them make real choices. Well, there were going to be 3d6 skeletons in here when I was doing my prep work, but having gone through this session so far, I've realized that 3d6 skeletons is not the challenge I want. I'm not pulling my punches. I still think 2d6 skeletons could kill them, but I think that this is ended up being way harder than I thought it was, and we're not planning on playing a Grimdark campaign, so I'm going to have 2d6 skeletons instead. Is that necessarily bad? That's not something I do very often, but I'm just thinking, is that like... I suppose you could just keep it 3d6 skeletons and give more clear signs that it's a very dangerous area to enter. Why have the d6 even if you're going to prep it, though? That seems more like something you would write for a random encounter table and not if you are pre-planning that there will be skeletons in this room, why didn't you, I don't know, say there are 8 skeletons in this room? Yeah, I mean, sure. If you're going to do prep, don't decide to... That's a really confusing one. I mean, it's like don't fudge dice, but also don't improvise combined into one. 3 tiers of truth. The DM is asked a question like, for example, what's in the office? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Who is asking the DM a question? And are you... Or do you know that the DM is an entity, the player character? Why are you not instead going, I searched through the office? Hell, let's get a bit more detailed. I searched through this filing cabinet that's in here. Maybe the DM didn't even say there was a filing cabinet in the office. He just said it was an office. And you know that, okay, there's going to be a filing cabinet in there. If your GM all of a sudden goes, actually, there's not a filing cabinet. Don't you look like a jackass? Because you, the player character, just sees everything that's in there, right? They see, there's a pint glass, an empty pint glass here. There's a wallet on top of a humidor, right next to a knife. In a tabletop RPG, maybe all your GM says is, see a desk with a computer and a knife on it. As a player, you go, I look on top of the desk to see if there's a wallet with any money on it. Now, they've input that there's some uncertainty. I look to see if there's something on it. But what if you didn't say there was a desk at all? Oh, damn. In an office, there's obviously going to be a desk. You can't tell them, oh, there's no desk in here. So then it's like, well, what the hell are you looking at? What, you need to describe the room to me better. So if there's any deficiencies in description from the GM, you have now allowed your players to fill in those holes. Just be ready for that. If your DM has described an office, then they have described the things in it. Yeah, just say, I start going through the drawers in the desk. I see if the computer turns on. I try to turn on the computer. Not, does the computer turn on? When I pick up this, I don't go, DM, Is this knife sharp? No one's responding to me. Oh, right. That's because I find out this is sharp by doing. And if you ask the DM, is the knife sharp? You know what the DM should do? You run the knife across your arm. Yeah, it's sharp. Don't do that, but, I mean, maybe, in-game. Okay, so what do we do when a player asks a question? We don't do any of what I said. We answer the question. But answering the question is a 3-step process, apparently. Look in the prep. Okay, so instead of following logic and just go in an office, there should be a desk, an office chair, there's a computer, there's some filing cabinets. You look to see there's a single window unit air conditioner that doesn't appear to be working. It's got a strange rattle and isn't making the room any colder. There's some dust in the room, implying that it's been uncleaned for some time. And an Ethernet cable mysteriously trails off into the southern entrance of the room. I didn't need to look at prep to do any of that. And no, I didn't just describe my office either. The air conditioner in here works. There's not that much dust. We just moved in here, so it's clean. Maybe some people can't do that. Maybe it's something stranger. Maybe it's something a little less close to home, and you need... But, if you're going to be running a game, I would hope you've at least thought about these things, right? Yeah, Let's take this... Let's give them a better example, though. It's the big boss treasure. It's a dragon's hoard. It's an absolute treasure room haul. At the end of a long dungeon, you want to do some prep work for that. You want to know exactly what's in there so that the players, they get into a sticky situation and maybe they immediately... You swing into this thing and you realize, oh crap, your dagger's not doing anything. But out of the corner of your eye, you see the glint of what it has to be a magical weapon of some sort. You only see the hilt, though. You pull it out of the... I grab that. I pull that out. Swing. You swing, and you realize immediately it is a Vorpal sword as the dragon's head sails off through the air. Something like that. There you should have prep. But again, run it something like that. Not, DM, before this fire-breathing dragon, totally consumes me and, cooks the rest of my party, can I look into that pile of loot over there? You are dead. Don't fucking prep the storage closet. There's a storage closet. Okay, my players are gonna know what's the building. If I've already described what the building is, they can assume some things that are in the storage closet. It's a storage closet in a guard barracks. Oh, I looked to see if they've got any surplus arms and armor in here. Oh, genius. Yeah, there certainly would be some arms and armor. If you want, you can have them, you can then and there roll on a table and be like, ooh, let's see. Or just make a d20 roll and let's see how lucky they are. Well, maybe on a higher roll, it's nicer armor. This is a well-equipped guard station. Or you just use logic. You've described this as a dilapidated, beaten to shit guard station in the boondocks. And it's like, no, they don't... Surplus? Really? No, they don't have that here. You find some dusty old, mothballs and some old uniforms, and that's it. Okay. What's step B? Otherwise, I also hate that it's red on white background. God, this hurts to look at. Otherwise, maybe you have a rule. Default offices have a stapler, a typewriter, a visitor's chair, etc. I would call that logic. I don't think you need to have that as a written rule. Or mechanic, such as a random room content table. Okay, we got 1 out of 3. I like those. I don't know why that's not step 1, but okay. If you don't have that either, make something up. Yes. Try to make it something that won't help or harm the player characters too much. Why? I mean, yeah, don't say you enter an office room. You open the drawer as you're searching this room. It explodes. You die. Yeah, don't do that, but make something up. But, you know, if your players have your player characters have immediate goals, as in they are describing to you what is the purpose of their action. I would like to stick 2 objects together. I look for something that I can use to stick 2 things together. Or I look and see if there's a stapler. Oh, you don't find a stapler, but you do find a bottle of super glue. That could be directly helpful. They can be 1-to-1 helpful with their goal. Or directly not helpful. Try as you might, you can't find anything. You find a stapler, but it's empty. You are going to have to continue to hold your hand over your gaping wound. You're not going to be able to staple that up now. Otherwise, what's the point of you going into this 3-step process of describing in great detail from this sheet you have, you're reading from it in great detail. You go into this completely mundane room where you know the outcome is going to be pretty much neutral no matter what you end up going in and exploring in here. What's the point? What's the point to skip the room at that point? It shouldn't be 20 angry beholders or 20 free healing potions. Well, yeah, use logic. You could have just said, use logic. You don't need to make such an extreme example on one end or the other. Or say, don't be too helpful or unhelpful. Just say, use logic. What if they're going into what if your players remind you that in this guard tower, there's probably an infirmary, and you go, oh, I didn't even think about putting an infirmary in there, but that would totally make sense for people that are getting into combat frequently. Right. Okay, there's an infirmary. It's going to have 20 healing potions? No, but it's going to have 20 healing potions. There you go. Your players are now being rewarded for building bits of the world that you forgot about. They're immersed in the world. They're thinking, yeah, we're in a guard tower. Obviously, there's going to be, or, we're in some barracks. There should be, if not a whole, infirmary, a nurse, there should be a nurse or a cleric or something nearby that will have healing. Maybe you're in an apocalypse game and you're looking for a dead nurse that's just got some stuff on their person or nearby. Maybe they're pushing a cart down the hallway nearby. You as the GM didn't have to prep that. You just go, yeah, that should be there. And you're so immersed in this that you've just logically thought, right, at the gas station, I'm going to look for the emergency shutoff button. Bang. Oh, shit. Yeah, there is that emergency shutoff button at all gas stations, federally mandated. That's very true. There would obviously be that. Uh-oh. Maybe your big conflict here is that the gas station is rapidly catching fire, and you have to, you could do one of two things. Well, they solve the problem by staying calm and doing the correct thing. Or you can, go, panic. You look for it, and it's just way on the far wall. You're on the opposite side of the gas station from it. There, I've made something up. It's either been very helpful or very unhelpful. What am I supposed to always put it exactly halfway there? If you're in the middle of the gas station, it's exactly halfway from you. If you're on one end of the gas station, it's exactly in the middle of the gas station. Don't feel bad. Allowing DMs to start small is how we get new DMs. Patch this hole or this category of holes for future sessions. Patch the hole? Patch the hole by having good improvisational skills, I suppose. Yes, don't patch the hole by treating this like a college course where, well, this is a 3-hour-a-week course, so you must do 3 hours of prep work. No. Always work in that order, top to bottom, only falling to a lower tier of truth when you have to. Lower tier of truth? No. No. A campaign that's built on all T2 and T3 truths isn't as engaging as one that has some solid T1 framework in there. DM, can you please stop describing? We're in an office complex. This is the 103rd cubicle we've been through. I know there's a stapler on the desk. Please, I just want to get to the boss. It's been 5 sessions and we've passed 2 hours in game time. Not the kind of engagement I'm looking for, maybe, in my sessions. Wallpaper salience. Good fucking lord. Okay, let's see what they're talking about here. Things with points and sharp ends are extra important to have prepped. Yeah. Your medieval peasant, you didn't have his sheet of what he's got on his inventory? Well, this medieval person must not have a knife then. You can't just make up that he's got a knife whenever your player character's trying to wrestle this peasant to the ground. Because that would be unfair to him. That would be making the situation too difficult now that the peasant has a fighting chance. Even though it makes sense that a working man in the medieval period is literally called a Bauernwehr. I'm probably butchered it, German-speaking viewers. Bauernwehr? Something like that? Peasant ward. It's a working man's knife. It's okay to improvise things on the flavor layer, like names, wallpaper, colors, etc. That's why you see there's so much OSR stuff that's just a terse list of enemies and their hit die, pretty much. That's the least improvisable parts. I mean, yeah, it's the least improvisable part, but it's not unimprovisable. When I place a bandit captain in the prep, I make sure that her stat block or a reference to it is listed. If I have to have a good idea for her name or clothes, some traits, that's all fine to write down, but the stats need to be carved into granite first thing. Let's see. Shit, there's an encounter here. I didn't plan on them fighting a bandit captain. That's just something, the player's actions took us in that direction. I don't have an NPC list open where I can just pop open one, or they're all too high level, whatever. Okay. Let's see, how much HP does the fighter have? Yeah, okay. So they've got about that much HP. What is their fighters to hit? Okay, it's that. Alright, cool. Their AC should be... What's the rogue's AC? Yeah, okay. This is what everybody's AC is? Alright, yeah. I got that. You don't have to stop. While the players are role-playing, you just scan over all that stuff. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. That's about it. If I'm running Shadowrun, I don't need to go look up this gun, this NPC is a gun skill of 7. I need, they have to have a difficulty class of, they need 6, the decker needs 6 hits to successfully hack, this camera. Or, there's an enemy decker over here. You didn't prepare them. You didn't look. Does he have a Renraku Tsurugi or a Sony Ericsson Mark 78? I need the comm rating of that. Oh no, what is it? Oh, if you want him to have a crappy deck, they only need 3 hits. If you want him to have an okay one, they need 5 hits. If you want him to have a really strong one, they need 7, 8, 9 hits. As many as the player has. Player character. Doesn't need to be carved into stone. You just need to know the mechanics of the game you're running. Now let's say they find a potion that lets them teleport through green walls. What the hell are these analogies? All of a sudden you're going to need a wallpaper color table. What? For rooms where your prep doesn't already say what color the wallpaper is. The ceilings are 15 foot high vaulted, tapering off to 10 feet in the corners of the rooms. The hallways are 7 feet high, you would guess. The walls are all composed of cobblestone. You don't need to describe anything again until there's a change. Why the hell would your players all of a sudden assume that you're walking from one room where the walls are all moss-covered cobblestone, and then go, GM help, I'm blind! I'm blind! What did the walls turn? They're still fucking cobblestone! Oh, I'm gonna go insane. Wow. Okay. Game where all the wallpaper is improvised. No, all the wallpaper is improvised. Yes. You don't say, this room's made of cobblestone. This room's made of wood. This room's made out of a different kind of hardwood. This room is made out of stucco. This room has no walls at all. That's complex. Is it interesting? No, it's not interesting. It might be interesting if you have a reason for this. This dungeon was made by some sort of crazy architect that just couldn't decide on anything, and it's all constantly falling apart. Maybe that's the case where that makes sense. But you don't improvise all of it. You improvise it all at once. Just use what makes sense. What are actual basements made out of? Solid concrete or big flagstones? Pretty much universally throughout the world. Use the same logic with a dungeon. If it's above ground, maybe you have some cross timbers. It's not complicated. You're not going to have... Is there going to be some garish, weird-ass hallway where you go from one room where it's painted pink and then the next room's painted yellow and then the next... If it is, it's... I get it, it's not important. The importance is they've got a MacGuffin that changes the way they play the game. I understand that. But you still don't need to prep it. You don't need to do that. If you're going to give somebody a powerful MacGuffin that is infinite use items, you shouldn't be building around that. You should be building towards it. You would build an room where the walls are green. Or maybe you don't do anything. Maybe you do literally nothing and you expect your players to come up with a creative use for the potion, and they go, oh, brilliant, I'm going to carry around a bucket of green paint. Or a roll of green wallpaper. And have the ability to teleport through walls now. As long as I can lay out my thing on it. Doesn't that feel so much more satisfying than knowing, here's a random green wall. You can teleport through it. Oh, I've teleported into the bathroom, so oops, my mistake, sorry. Oh, it was random, so it wasn't helpful at all. Or, you know that this is a walled off room that you can only enter if you spend the next 8 hours in real world digging. Or you have the teleport through green walls potion. Both of those fucking suck. But if you just give them a weird thing like that, and then expect your players to go, wow, that's a really niche, but potentially powerful object. How do we make that useful? That's so much better for the players. And for the, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It makes things more engaging. That's part of the game that they're playing, right? Sorry, oh my god, I'm only halfway through. Should I split this into 2 videos? How long are we going here? 30 minutes? 30 minutes. No, I'll do a Shauner video. We'll do this for 18 years. Salience time zone. Jesus Christ with the language. Time passes at the speed necessary for us participants, players and TM, to answer the questions that arise in play. Again, no, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Don't ask questions, but the situations that arise in play, and to respond to the situations that arise in play. Let's fix that for them. I cast Detect Magic as a ritual. What do I find? Fuck, we need to beat a dead horse. Damn it. Damn it, I thought they were doing good. I cast Detect Magic. That's boring as shit, but at least we're role-playing, right? Vaguely. Everyone else knows that they're doing the... But, you know. Detect Magic, it's a really routine thing. They're doing it every time. Maybe you describe it the first time you do it, but then it's just, you know. You already know. I described it once. Replay that moment in your head. I cast Detect Magic. You know, the anime girl transformation, the Sailor Moon transformation sequence. You describe what that looks like, you know, maybe the first few times, and then everybody knows, oh yeah, we're playing the thing in their head, you know. But I cast Detect Magic. Was your GM just gonna sit there and go, you cast Detect Magic and I cast Detect Magic, what do I find? No. Well, obviously, you don't need to ask what you find. You cast Detect Magic. I unsheath my dagger. What does it look like? No, I unsheath my dagger and look at it. Then the GM describes it. Because you're looking at it. They know what you want to do. You cast Detect Magic. They know, the GM knows you want to know what's magic in here. I'll look in the desk drawer. What's there? You're looking in the desk drawer. The GM's not going to... You look in the desk drawer. The GM's not going to be silent. What the last one's the worst. Wow, how directionless is your campaign? Even the first session, they can be kind of messy in a sandbox campaign. But we leave the village and head towards the nearest big city. What happens? You realize you don't know where the nearest big city is, and you're just sort of aimlessly wandering off into the wilderness. A few hours pass, and you've realized, you didn't bring any rations either. No, you don't leave the village and head toward the nearest big city. That implies you don't know what the nearest big city is. This isn't cutting. I don't like movie metaphors. Ooh, Shauner will be mad. But it's fast forwarding. Or slowing down as needed. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the general concept, I suppose. Yeah, it takes a little longer than 6 seconds, you know. I'll give players 30 seconds, a minute to come up with what they're doing on their turn. Because they're super intelligent. They're, you know... Their character is super intelligent. They may not be. They've got a million spells to look through there. And, you know, people. I know we don't really like playing their character sheets, but I'll give exceptions towards, like, high-level spellcasters because you literally are sort of looking at a shit like, oh, God, what spell am I going to... oh, shit. But, you know, the wizard isn't going, oh, geez, what spell am I going to cast here? Oh, God. And if that goes on for too long, yeah, skip them. Because you are under duress, but, you know... If the player is going, oh geez, should I cast haste or fly? I whip my hands around and cast fireball. They're thinking should I do X or Y, or maybe they're asking to their party, would you guys rather be faster or would you like to fly above the enemy? Oh, no, they appear to be dead. Alright, cast fireball. Yeah, it can take longer than the 6 seconds of a combat round. Yeah, that's fine. Or you can go faster. Like I said, sometimes you skip the describing the hand waving of your spell. Prepping is different from running. Yeah, one of these is a good one's shit. No. Okay. A good prepper might think of things like theme, fairness, balance, things being evocative, etc. But once you start running, sorry, the punctuation was fucking me up. Once you start running, all these thoughts need to go out the window. your theme and things being evocative need to go out the window? A cowboy shows up with a lever action rifle. What the? What? We're in space. He's a space cowboy. Yeah, I was making a Cowboy Bebop reference. Yeah. Being evocative. Things being evocative. I would disagree. I would say go ahead and describe the oops, the players left and didn't pick up on the hints that there's somebody trying to assassinate this noble patron that has hired them, so they go to do his deed to go kill these bandits that have been, or at least apprehend these bandits that have been killing cows. And as they return, they find shit. He's dead. They find him face down in a pool of his own blood and a bag of his money left behind, no note. That's evocative. They didn't do it for the money. And they made a mistake. They've been had. This is more than bandits. They've been used by some other noble, perhaps. Somebody that doesn't need the money. Don't do that. That's evocative. Okay? Just have a standard fetch quest. Alright. And again, I'm not one of those GMs that's been doing it for 40 years. I haven't been alive that long. It's not... You can come up with the stuff on the spot. What I would say is don't worry about it being contrived. Don't worry about thinking, oh, this has been done before. Everything's been done before. Prepper might think long and hard how many wolves are appropriate in the forest for a good and fun gameplay experience or a nice, interesting, exploratory semi-experience. But once you're running, you're committed. You can't go around changing that stuff. I mean, I would tend to agree, but if you manage I'm making a delicious stew, and I'm just about ready I set it out on everyone's plate, and I go, oh damn, that needs salt. Yeah, sorry, I've already served it. Can't put any more salt in there. No! Maybe the people individually at the table, they put their own salt in there. To their taste. The players change the world. The player characters, through their interactions, change the world. But I would say if you have something that the players don't end up interacting with, yeah, that just keeps happening. That just keeps going on in the background. Things can happen in the game that are too boring, too unbalanced, too easy, too hard, but that's going to have to be okay. Fuck no. Why the fuck are you running a tabletop RPG if shit's boring? Slow, sure. Not combat. Boring. Hell no. Hell no. You just mentioned in the earlier thing. Skip past, speed up if it's too boring. Do something. Why have you prepped something that's too boring? You've spent, hours doing all this prep work and you made something that's too boring? Too unbalanced, though? I agree. I absolutely agree here. Here's my first hard agree with these people. Too unbalanced. Throw balance out the window. Knights fought peasants. The militaries fight rebels. Things are unbalanced. That's fine. In both directions. You shouldn't always be throwing equal challenge at your party as well as a GM. A level 10 would throw challenge rating 10 or level 10 enemies at them. Oh, you leveled up to 11. Yay, woo, we leveled up. Oh, damn, it doesn't feel like we leveled up. Yeah, that's because I'm just going to throw level 11 enemies at you now, Sometimes the good guy, in fact, primarily the good guy in anything, you watch an anime, you watch, any, Western action movie. You watch John Wick. Is John Wick always at the top of things, always in a balanced situation? No, he's usually here, He's a level 10 gunslinger gunning down a bunch of CR 1/3 warriors. Just It isn't primarily gamist. It's not balanced enough for that. Okay. But it's well suited to gamism in some ways. Is it suited to role playing? So far, no. So far, it is not. The game is the players versus the module, whether it's homebrew or not. No. No, that's not. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. These people don't seem to understand what a role playing game is, which is strange because they've designed one.